prenatal Pilates class for you today. For equipment, you are going to need a set of light hand weights, or you could wear wrist weights. These are 2 pounds each. You could do 1 pound. You could go 3 pounds, up to you. And then you're going to want a resistance band loop. I'm using a light one. Don't go too heavy. We're going to do some hip work with them. Now, optional, you could have a foam block on hand to elevate your hips on if that's more comfortable. If you don't have a foam block, you could get a blanket and just fold it up. Just something to elevate your hips a little bit. Might be comfortable for the first section when we focus in on hip flexors, but that is optional. If you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nicole. I'm a STOT-trained Pilates instructor and a pregnancy and postpartum corrective exercise specialist. So you are in good hands today. However, I'm not there in the room with you. So you first and foremost are going to listen to your doctor, listen to your body. If anything's not feeling okay, lightheaded, dizzy, you're going to modify or you're going to stop. Now, class could be appropriate for 2nd or 3rd trimester. But if it helps you gauge, I am 28 weeks along filming this today. Now, I think that's all I needed to say, so let's get into it. We don't need the equipment just yet, okay? We're gonna start no props, then we'll grab the mini band, we'll finish up with the weights. But if you're using wrist weights, you can just have them on the whole time. So I want you to find a comfortable cross-legged position. If this is uncomfortable, again, try elevating your hips on a foam block or a towel. And we're going to start with by holding a position. Well, we'll move and then we'll hold it for a little bit of a release through the neck and the shoulders. So let's start by taking our right hand lightly behind our ears, elbow bent, and we're just going to open and close. So as we open and close, as the elbow opens up, we're focusing on retracting the shoulder blade into midline, and then we let it come back wide as the elbow comes forward. Now, we're not rotating open as we do this, so I want you to stay neutral through the spine. And I want you to make sure you're not pulling your head forward, okay? So your fingertips are just lightly here. As the elbows open up, we don't arch into our lower back. We don't flare open through the ribs. So we're still and stable everywhere else, just mobilizing through the shoulder. Now, twice more, and then we're going to hold. So next time you open up this elbow, I want you to hold it open, okay? Make sure we're tall through the back of the neck so we're not pulling the neck forward. And if rotation still feels comfortable for you, I want you to rotate over to the right a little bit through the mid-spine. So just think of kind of bringing your rib cage open slightly to the right, okay? We haven't rotated through the neck, it's the mid-spine. So just over as much as feels comfortable. And we're still pulling open through that elbow, but without flaring through the ribs. Now, I want you to take your neck and we're going to turn and we're going to shift our gaze slightly up and over to the left, okay? So we're going to turn our neck and just look up slightly to the left. We're not craning the neck, we're not forcing it, just find a rotation. And we're just going to breathe into this position. That elbow is still pulling open. As you stay in the position, you might find a little more space. You may be able to open it up a little wider. Now, if you are someone who holds a lot of tension through your shoulders, through your neck, maybe you have a rounded forward posture or forward head position, then it can get a little uncomfortable, and there can also be an emotional release with it. So notice if any feelings are bubbling to the surface, which may not be the case for you. It may just be physical. You may just feel a nice stretch, and that is good too. A couple more breaths here. Inhale through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's come back through center. And I just want you to kind of relax through the shoulders. See if you notice a difference. You may not feel a difference, but after doing that, often if you look in the mirror, you'll notice a difference in the height of your shoulders. It really does offer a nice release doing that. So we're going to do the same thing other sides. Now let's take the left fingertips just lightly at the back of our head, but not pulling the neck forward. And we're just going to open up through that elbow and bring it forward. I wanted to really ease into class today, start it a little differently. This position, this hold, is great to do if you're someone who has a forward head position, which I do have. It's called text neck sometimes, or dowager's hump. But this is a really Good body position to find. All right, next time you open up that elbow, we're going to hold it open. So we're opening across the front of the chest, drawing the shoulder blade in towards midline and towards the spine, but without flaring the ribs. We're not arching into the back. Now we're going to rotate over to the left. We're not twisting through the lower back, mid-spine, just as much as feels good. Oh, that feels really nice. And maybe you get that elbow a little wider. Now, last piece of this puzzle, we're just going to bring our gaze over to the right and up slightly. So you turn your neck to the right, slightly looking up. And we're just going to hold this position and breathe. Two more breaths. And let's come through center. Just take a second to notice how you feel. Do you feel any release of tension through the head, neck, and shoulders? Maybe your shoulders feel like they sit a little lower. They're not as tight and scrunched up to your ears. Let's just bring it into some arm circles. So your arms are going to circle up, back, and around. Arms are kind of wide so that you don't hit the ground. Make sure as the arms circle back, you don't flare through the ribs and arch into your lower back. Switch direction of the shoulders, of the circles. Give me one more. And then from here, I want you to plant your hands behind you, and we're going to bring our feet in front of us. I'm just going to turn to face the side. So we're leaning back slightly. Fingertips can point out wide to the side, and we're going to windshield wiper the knees. So you're going to drop them over to one side and then over to the other. Now I want you to keep your hips planted on the ground as you do this, so don't totally twist, okay? So hips stay planted, and we just do this little windshield wiper of the legs within the hip joint. We're going to, the first section of class is going to be focused on hip flexors, deep core connection. We'll also get some tricep work and some posterior chain work, but because we are going to really challenge the hip flexors in one of the moves, I just want us to get this nice swishing motion going, prepare the hip joint. One more to either side. And then come through center. Okay, so from here, we're going to keep our left foot planted, knee bent, and we're going to take our right leg long. Now, I want this to be, it's going to be a challenging position for the shoulders. There's a lot of shoulder stability going on, but if it feels more comfortable, you can really take the hands out wider than the shoulders for this first part. You can be tented fingertips or flat palms, whatever works for you. This is also a great time to elevate your hips on a foam block if that's more comfortable. All right, now we're slightly leaning back. We're not rounded back and slouching back though. So think long spine, just at a slight diagonal. Now we're going to inhale through the nose, expand the rib cage, relax the pelvic floor. As we exhale slowly out through the mouth, you're going to feel a lift of the pelvic floor, a brace of the abdominal wall, hugging the baby up and in. And once you feel that abdominal connection, you're going to reach long through the right leg and you're going to lift it up. Inhale to lower it down. Exhale, breath first. Then the leg lifts. So we're reaching long and straight through this leg. So we're firing through the quads to hold it straight, challenging the hip flexors. Now, depending on where you are in your pregnancy, your bump might be kind of in the way. You can take your leg out a little wider if that's comfortable, but also just don't stress about getting the leg up super high, just a couple inches. So we have this connection between the deep core and the hip flexors. And we want to make sure we get the deep core on board before we fire the hip flexors. So you'll notice I get the core engagement, then the leg lifts. Now don't kick the leg so high that you round and rock back, so we're not rocking through the pelvis. 4 more and then we'll hold the leg at a hover. I know that hip flexor work can get very uncomfortable. We're not going to stay on it for long, okay? Final time, you're going to lift that leg to a hover and hold it at a hover. Hold it at a hover. Reach long, open through the chest. Now from here, I just want you to trace a little circle with the leg. Continue to breathe. We're not rocking through the rest of the body. It is the legs circling within the hip joint. For 4, you switch direction. In 3, 2, 1, switch direction of the circle. I know it's hard. Hip flexor work can get uncomfortable very quick. We're almost there. Circle for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg to the ground. Keep it straight. Gently flex through the ankle. Heel plants down. Now I want you to walk your hands in so they're shoulders distance apart and turn your fingertips so they point forward. From here, we're going to be open through the chest but not flared through the ribs. And you're going to give me a little tricep press through those elbows, down and up. Now we want to make sure that our left foot is not in too far, okay? So it's out farther than the knee. You can keep going with your tricep press just like this, or if you want to make it a little harder, we're going to bring our bum to a hover. So you would exhale, press the heel and the foot into the ground, bum at a little hover, do your tricep dips. From there, bum touches the mat and then comes up, taps and lifts. Now, as you're doing these tricep dips, your elbows are going straight back. So think of wrapping the triceps back so the creases of your elbows point forward. We're not sinking into the shoulders, which is easier said than done, but stay open through the chest. We're going to combo this tricep press with a lift of the hips. Legs stay in this position. In 3, 2, 1. Let's combo 1 tricep dip and then exhale. Press the left foot into the floor and the right heel into the ground as the hips lift up and down on your exhale. 1 tricep dip, exhale, hug the bump up and in, lift the hips up, firing through the glutes. If this single leg reverse tabletop is too much, then you can bend your right knee as well and have both feet planted. So with the right leg straight, you'll probably feel hamstrings, back of the leg, maybe even more so than glutes. On the left side, I want you to think of really getting glutes. So you press the foot into the ground, squeeze the glutes. You're going to feel hamstrings on the right side as you press the heel into the ground. 1 more in the combo. And then take out the tricep dip, give me 4 lifts. Hips stay level to the ceiling. Twice more. Last time. Lower the hips down. You can come to cross-legged. Let's roll out those wrists. You can give me some shoulder rolls as well. So we're going to do that same series on the other side. Switch direction of the circles. Some shoulder shrugs if needed. And now we're going to set up for the other side. So I like to start on fingertips instead of a flat palm, with the fingertips pointing out. Just relieves the wrists so that the wrists are ready for the tricep work. So you're going to hinge back slightly with the torso, and then we are going to take our left leg long and the right knee is bent, right foot planted on the ground. We inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift to the pelvic floor, hug the bump up and in, reach long through the left leg, lift it up to a hover and lower. We don't rock back on the pelvis as we do this. We reach long through the left leg up to a hover, working the hip flexors. Four more. Twice more, and then you'll hold. moving with our breath here, so don't rush it. Breath first, movement second. Next time you lift that leg up, you hold it at a hover, and we start to trace those tight little circles. Stable through the rest of the body. In 4, you switch. In 3, circle for 2. 1, same circles, just switch direction. It's small, small. Almost there. Leg lowers in 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex through the ankle, lower the leg down. Now we're going to bring our hands in, palms flat, under shoulders, fingertips point forward, open through the chest. And we start with those little tricep presses. Bum stays down to start just to get the movement going here. Now you can stay with your bum on the ground every time we do the tricep dips. If you want to ramp it up a notch though, we'll bring our bum to that small hover. Make sure that your right foot isn't in too close to you, so it's out farther than the knee. If you want to bring your bum to a hover, press the foot and the heel into the floor, bum just smallest hover, little tricep dip. So your butt will tap the floor when you lower, and then it comes to that small hover. Elbows are going straight back as they dip. So we think of wrapping the arm back so the creases of the elbows point forward. We're going to combo this with our hip dip in 4, or not hip dip, hip lift. 3, 2, push the floor away. 1, let's combo. 1 tricep dip, exhale, hips lift up. Lower them down, 1 dip. So on that hip lift, really press down through your left heel, feel the back of that left leg light up, and really stamp your right foot into the ground, squeezing into your right side glutes. Gazes forward so that you don't crane the neck. Hips stay level to the ceiling. Once more in the combo. Take out the tricep press. Give me 4 hip lifts to finish. Push the mat away. Final time. Lower those hips down, find a cross-legged position. You can roll out the wrists, roll out the shoulders. All right, so now we're gonna move into some side body work, and we're going to use the band for this. It's not a super long sideline series. We're gonna use the band. At any point, if the band gets to be too much, you can shake it off and go body weight. We're going to have the band around the arches of our feet, and then I want you to mirror me, okay? So you're going to lay down on your right side, mirror image to me. We're gonna come all the way down. Now I want your neck in alignment with the spine, so I like bent elbow, head, and hand. If this is more comfortable, you can do it, but look at the angle of my neck. If you're broader through the shoulders, I highly recommend doing this instead. All right, now our knees are going to be bent, and you can hop them forward, not all the way to a 90-degree bend, but getting there. And let's make sure that the shoulders and hips are in line with each other. Now, depending on how far you are in your pregnancy, it may be comfortable to have some support under your bump. So you can always put a small pillow right here, and that can make things a lot more comfortable. Up to you. All right, now let's take this top left leg, and I want you to abduct it, lifting it up so the legs are parallel but lifted so that there's tension on that band between the feet, okay? We're engaged to the bottom side obliques, so we're not collapsing into that bottom side body. We're gonna do internal to external rotation here, but just start by holding up so you should feel that outer hip kind of light up. Now through the internal external rotation, you're going to keep tension on the band. So your foot isn't changing height, we'll just open and close the knee. So let's start with external rotation, peeling that knee open, external rotation within the hip joint, and then let's find internal. Lower the knee down, but keep pushing the foot up. And we're gonna continue to move like this. Now, with the added pressure of the band, I know the burn builds up pretty quick in this side body series, so just keep reminding yourself it's not long, okay? Now you wanna make sure you're not rolling through the hips, so your pelvis is staying still. It's just the leg within that hip joint. Peeling open. I know I say it almost every class when we do hip work, but movement within the hip joint and working the hip joint is intricately linked to pelvic floor function, okay? So that's why I love including all this hip work, for other reasons too, but really anchor that band down with your right side. Now, next time you find internal rotation, I want you to pause. So when the knee comes down towards the knee, your foot is up, we're internally rotated, so that thigh is wrapping inward, hips are still stacked. And now from here, I just want you to pulse up on the band. It's a little kick up and back. It's tiny, up and back. Maintain the internal rotation. It might feel a little funky, up and back. I'm not really in alignment. There we go. Up and back, little kick. Keep the internal rotation though. Notice, is your leg wanting to come parallel? Keep wrapping the thigh bone inward, and then just that little kick up and back. A little kick up and back. We're going to bring the leg to parallel, and we'll kick it straight and bend it back in, keeping the leg lifted. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep tension on the band, just bring the leg parallel. Now exhale, you're going to kick that leg straight, squeeze again to the glutes. Inhale, bend the knee forward. Exhale, kick against the band. Now I'm cueing you to fire into your glutes, but because of where the band is, where gravity is, you're going to be feeling this outer hip still, okay? So it's not like it's going to be a huge burn for your glute max, but I do want you to think contract into the seat without arching into your back as that leg straightens. Inhale, it comes in. Exhale. Engage to the core, kick the leg straight. We'll hold the leg straight. We'll pulse to finish in 2, 1. Next time you kick that leg straight, hold it straight. Just give me a little pulse up on that band. For 8, don't collapse into the side body. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, bring it in. Whew. All right, so now you can use your left hand to press yourself up. Let's take a counter stretch. So I just want you to swing the legs over to the other side and then sweep that left arm up and over. So now we're going to repeat that on the other side. So the band is still around your arches. And now we're going to lay down again. I want you to mirror me, so lay down on your left side. Makes things easier if we do mirror image inside series. All right, shoulders, hips in line with each other, knees bent and forward, not all the way in a 90 degree though. Option to have support under the bump. All right, let's start by finding that hold. You want equal length through both sides of the waist. So you almost think you can put your top right hand on your hip and press it, lengthening the hip away from the rib cage. And when you do that, do you feel a little lift of the bottom waist away from the floor, bringing the hips into a stacked position? Now, instead of maintaining the position by pushing with your arm, we maintain by engaging through the obliques. All right, if you are not ready to go to this, you can always pause the video, by the way, especially anytime, pregnant or not, you can always pause in between sections if needed. But when you're pregnant, longer recovery is sometimes needed, hip pause. But if you're ready, anchor the band down with your bottom foot, and let's lift that top leg up so that the legs are parallel but lifted. Length through both sides of the waist. And I just want us to feel this outer hip kick in, and then we'll start to rotate. So keep tension on the band. Let's add in that rotation. You're going to peel the knee open. And then you lower it down, knee towards knee. It's okay if the knee doesn't actually touch the knee. Work within the range of motion that works for your body. Keep pushing against the band. So the knee drops down, but the foot does not. I like inhale as the knee lowers. Exhale as it clamshells. Internal rotation helps us open up through the back of the pelvic floor. External rotation, the opposite. We're holding steady through the hips. It is the leg, the head of that femur, rotating within the hip joint. Twice more, and then we'll hold internal. So next time that knee lowers, hold the internal rotation. It's a little kick up against the band. Up and back against the band, up and back against the band. Notice, is your leg wanting to come out of internal rotation? Wrap it in, kick up. Might feel a little funky. Very important to work internal rotation though. We'll bring the leg to parallel. We'll kick it straight, crunch it in 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep tension on the band, parallel. Exhale, kick that leg straight. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale. We'll hold the leg straight back. A little pulses to finish. If the band is too much, ditch it. Next time that leg goes back straight, hold straight. Little pulse up on that band. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees in. Whoo, awesome job. Put your right hand on the ground. Use it for support to press yourself up. We're done with the band for the day. You can ditch it. Let's take that counter stretch. Swing your legs around. And we'll take our right arm up and over. All right, so we're going to finish with a little more deep core work, but a lot of upper body work, specifically mid-back. We're going to use our weights for this, or just keep using your wrist weights if you have those on. So we're going to come into a tabletop position. You'll need both weights eventually, but for now you will just grab one. We're going to take the weight in our left hand, so I'm going to turn to this side actually so I don't hit my bench. Okay, so tabletop position. Spread out through your right fingers. Right hand is planted under shoulder, and we're going to do a reverse fly on the left side. So I want you to grab the weight, have a softness to your elbow, palm faces into midline. We're neutral through the spine, so make sure you're not tucked under. We reach the tailbone back, but we're going to support through the core so that we don't just sink into the lower back. Length through the neck. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift to the pelvic floor, hug your bump up and in. Once you have that abdominal engagement, reverse fly, opening up through that left arm, retracting the shoulder blade into midline. Inhale, return knuckles back to the mat. Relax through the pelvic floor. So on the inhale, it's kind of like, for lack of the better word, you're releasing the baby. And on the exhale, you're hugging it up and into you. I want that abdominal engagement before the arm flies wide. So, you know, this is a light weight. Could we do a reverse fly without sinking it to our breath and do it safely? Yeah, we probably could, depending on where we are in pregnancy. But diaphragmatic breathing is the basis of all deep core and pelvic floor work. So think of this as a great opportunity to work on that. So maybe it feels like it would be harder for your arm to bang out a bunch of reps quickly. But it's not just about our mid-back. It's not just about the reverse fly. It's about the breath work. Twice more. And next time you reverse fly that arm open, I want you to hold it open. And then I want you to straighten out through the arm. Now we're going to come into a sweep. So right now, palm is towards the ground, arm is straight out to the side. You're going to sweep it back into midline, palm faces into midline, so a little rotation. And then you're just going to sweep it wide. Palm to the floor, palm to midline. Now, if your right wrist starts to bother you, you can always come to tented fingertips on that support side. or up to knuckles. 2 more sweeps, then you're going to hold the arm back. Don't crunch into one side of your waist, so stay long through the spine. Next time that arm sweeps back, palm into midline, open through the chest, give me a tricep kick back. You bend the elbow and straighten. We're keeping the elbow lifted. Palms facing into midline. Reach it long, bring it back. Now notice in this tabletop, have you shifted back? I noticed I did. Really keep that shoulder over the wrist, hips over knees, so that we can continue to challenge the deep core. Now, we're going to keep this tricep extension going, kick back going. We're just going to add in a tricep dip on the other arm as well, okay? So both arms are straight, and then as you bend, do a tricep press on the right as we kick on the left. So a little coordination here. I feel like I'm losing the ability to talk as this class goes on. Like I cannot form sentences. I'm filming this class later in the day. Usually I film in the morning, and this is why I don't film later in the day. My brain stops working. Tricep dip on the right as you kick on the left for 4, 3, 2. Last time, hold this left arm straight and pulse it up. Straight arm presses up, up. Don't sink down into your right shoulder. Press the mat away. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit your bum down on your heels. Whoo, good job. So we'll repeat that on the other side. I just have to flip to face the other direction because I have this bench in the way. You don't have to. We'll just switch what hand has the weight. Ooh, okay, so we're going to do this on the other arm, and then we'll do it both arms together in a hinged position, and then we cool it down, okay? So let's find our tabletop position. We're going to spread out through the left fingers, left hand plants down, right hand grabs the weight, knees under hips, length through the spine, and we're doing deep core work too, okay? So we sink it to our breath, slow it down, even if the slow pace is frustrating. Inhale, relax through the pelvic floor. Exhale, lift to the pelvic floor. Hug the baby up and in. Once you have a good hug, we reverse fly that arm open. So the shoulder blade is gliding across the back of our rib cage as the arm opens up to the side. And there's the briefest of pauses when that arm is lifted and open. Just really getting the muscular contraction on that mid-back slide. There's no rotation open towards the arm. I'm just going to minimize talking through the rest of class because, like, what am I even saying? Twice more. Next time that arm flies wide, hold it wide. Reach the arm straight so palm faces the floor. Did you just shift back in your hips? I did. Don't do that. Stay in your tabletop. Sweep the arm back, palm to midline. Sweep it back wide, palm to the floor. Try not to crunch into one side of the waist. If you're having trouble staying centered in the tabletop, then you can take your left hand and hop it into center, a couple inches in, and you may find that that helps with support, okay? 2 more sweeps, and then we're going to hold that arm back. We'll take it into the tricep kickback. So final sweep, out to the side. Sweep it back, tricep kickbacks. Bend at the elbow, stretch that arm straight and back. But don't just swing it, okay? So resist it in, reach it long and back. Maintaining length through the back of the neck, not sinking into this left shoulder. So you really press the mat away on that left side. Gently unlocked through the left elbow. Now we're going to keep this tricep kickback going. We're going to add in a tricep press on the left side as well. So make sure the crease of the elbow is pointing forward. Let's add it in. Both elbows bend and press. Now when you do this tricep press on the left side. If you rock your hips back and forward as you do this, you're not really going to get the triceps that effectively. So think about keeping the hips over the knees, and your torso just angles down a little bit and parallel to the floor. We'll hold for those straight arm pulses in 4, 3, both arms straight in 2. Last one, both arms are straight, that right arm pulses up to finish, reach long through it, open through the chest. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're gonna need both weights. Sit your bum back on your heels. Now I'm gonna give you a couple options. You can keep your butt down on your heels and just lean forward, but depending on where you are in your pregnancy, your bum might get in the way. So I'm gonna do this in a hinged position with my bum hovering. If this position is uncomfortable though, or you feel like you can't control the pressure in your abdomen, then I would sit your hips on something, a yoga block or a foam block between your legs so that it's down and supported but elevated, okay? And that'll be more comfortable. All right, final section of class. Let's do this. I'm gonna face you. So we send our hips back. We're in this hinge position, open through the chest, long through the spine, palms face in, reverse fly. Exhale. Lift to the pelvic floor, hug the baby up and in, arms move. Twice more, and then we hold the arms. Last time, you're gonna hold those arms wide. Hug the baby up and in, arms go wide. Now from here, stretch them long. We sweep them back, palms in towards each other. Sweep them wide, palms to the floor. Woo! Keep reaching the hips back. Don't tuck your tailbone under, okay? We stay connected to our breath and the deep core. If you feel pressure pushing out, or you see coning or doming through the abdominals, sit your bum on your heels. Do it in that position instead, okay? We want to be able to control the pressure within our abdomen. Next time the arms sweep back, hold them back. Give me a tricep kick back in. Send them long, in, send it long. Maintain length of the back of the neck so we're not letting the head dip down. Don't start to tuck the tailbone under, keep it neutral. We'll hold the arms straight, we'll pulse to finish. In 4, 3, 2, next time those arms kick back, hold them back, reach them long, up, up, straight arms lift, lift. In 8, 7, 6, 5, you're done in 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the weights down, and let's come to a comfortable cross-legged position to cool it down. Good job. Let's just do a little fluid side to side bend, up and over, up and over. One more to either side. And then we'll take a little stretch for the triceps. So sitting up tall, grab the back one elbow like you're patting yourself on the back. Just a couple breaths here. Release. Other side. And then bringing one hand to either knee. We're going to trace circles, kind of stirring around in the pelvis. This feels so good to me. I've been including it in a lot of classes. Switch direction of the circles. And then I want us to repeat, but with the other foot in front, okay? So one more circle like this. And then just switch the cross, okay? So the other foot is forward. The foot that's forward, this hip just often feels a little more elevated, so I want to do it both ways. And just start to circle. Switch direction of those circles. One more. And let's just finish with a moment of stillness. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Hands can stay on knees. Sitting up nice and tall, and just check in with how you feel. Maybe do a little body scan from the top of your scalp down through the neck and shoulders. If your eyes were closed, you can open them. Awesome job today. Hope you're feeling good after that class. I am. I just love that post-Pilates feeling. What I love most about Pilates is it doesn't beat you down. You don't finish class feeling dead. I always feel energized. I love it. Anyway, if you did enjoy class as much as I did, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Throughout probably February, but we'll see, I will have prenatal focused classes every Tuesday and Thursday. The other days of the week are classes that I filmed prior to pregnancy, so it's business as usual. Got a little something for everyone. Another way you can show support is just sharing this with a friend or a family member who you think would benefit from it. Again, I can't talk today. Spreading the word helps me so much to grow my channel, and it's very appreciated. Final way you can show support is through super thanks. It's like YouTube's version of tipping. It's a heart with a $sign on the bottom bar. And again, so appreciative of those of you who throw me little super thanks here and there. All right, so again, thanks for moving with me today, and I'll see you next time.